بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق.
And last week we stopped at hadith number 446. Now this hadith sharif is narrated by Aisha radiallahu anha, and she says that Barira came to seek my permission regarding manumission. Now I told you that manumission here means that when there is a slave and the slave has to be set free. So the master of the slave can tell the slave that if you bring me this much money, then you are free. In Arabic language it's called mukatab. So she says that I told her, because it was a female slave, I told her, if you like, I would pay your price to your masters, but your al-wala would be for me, meaning when you die, the warasat will come to me. Her master said that if you like, you can pay what remains of the price, or if you like, you can manumit her by her inheritance. Al-wala would be for us. When Rasulullah ﷺ came, I spoke to him about it, and Rasulullah ﷺ said, buy her and manumit her. No doubt al-wala is for the manumitted, meaning the person who would die, the person when he will die, the warasat would be distributed according to the Sharia. Then Rasulullah stood on the pulpit, the member, and said, what about some people who impose conditions which are not present in Quran? Whoever imposes conditions which are not in Allah's book, his condition will be invalid even if he imposed them 100 times. Meaning Rasulullah ﷺ used the member, the masjid, to express what he thought is wrong. Okay? So Rasulullah corrected that this is not how it should be. So in other words, Imam Bukhari rahimahullah brought this hadith to show to us that the member, the masjid, should be used to propagate only what is right. Okay? What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have said in Quran, it should be used only for that. If you see something wrong, the Imam of the masjid or the Shaykh of the masjid, he should use the masjid for that purpose. The member should be used only for that. Okay? Because remember that the member of the masjid is a very important place. Okay? It's a very important and a very prestigious thing. That member should not be used for any un-Islamic thing. Okay, so this is what Imam Bukhari rahimahullah wanted to do. Now the next hadith, 447. Ka'ab said that in the mosque I asked Ibn Abi Hadra to pay the debt which he owed to me, and our voices grew louder. Rasulullah heard that while he was in his house. So he came to us raising the curtain of his room and said, O Ka'b. I replied, Labbaika ya Rasulullah. He said, O Ka'b, reduce your debt to 1/2, gesturing with his hand. And I said, O Prophet of Allah, I have done so. Then Rasulullah said, get up and pay the debt to him. In other words, Rasulullah used the masjid as to settle disputes. Okay? And ideally this is how it should be. Our dispute should be settled in the masjid, not outside. Okay? But the issue here is that when you bring the dispute to the masjid and the Imam of the masjid settles that dispute, both the sides should accept it. Then you should not go to the court. Because if the judgment was against you, you'll say, okay, then I will go to the court. No, here Rasulullah said to Ka'ab that, let's say if somebody owed $1,000 to Ka'ab, right? So here Rasulullah said to Ka'ab, reduce it by half. Not ask for only $500. Why? Because Rasulullah knew that that person will never be able to pay that much money that he had owed. And Kaab, mashallah, is an affluent person, he has money. Is it? So that is it. So here the matter was brought to the masjid, and Rasulullah sallam told something to the Sahaba, and Sahaba accepted it. So masjid could be used for this purpose. I mean, sometimes people do bring their dispute to the masjid, but when the Imam settles the dispute, one party does not like it. So I was telling you the other day that two brothers came to the masjid a few months ago. One brother claimed that the other brother owed him $5,000 in rent. The other brother was saying that no, I owe him only $3,000, not $5,000. So this padda was brought to the masjid, and now both of them said, Habisa, we have brought this matter to you. Whatever you will say, we'll accept it. So I took them to the office upstairs. I closed the door and I said, okay, brother, now let's sit down and talk. And then I asked both of them, do you promise to me that whatever I will decide after listening to your story, you will accept? Both of them said, yes, I'll accept. So I listened to both of the stories and the paperwork and all that. So then I felt that this person owes only $4,000, not $5,000. Now it was a middle ground as well, 3 and 5. I said, okay, 4. I said, brother, you pay him 4,000, not 5 and 3. So the brother who had to pay said, okay, Shaykh, if you say 4,000, it's okay. I'll pay him 4,000. But the other brother said, Habisa, not 5,000. I said, no, brother, this is what I think. 4,000 should be, and that should be the final settlement. Now he kept quiet. I said, what? Are you not satisfied? Habisa, I think it should be 5,000. I said, brother, but you promised in the beginning, you know. Okay, inshallah. But he left without saying salam even. I said, oh my God, this person is now, you know. So he just left, just like that. So, and then for a few days he avoided me, which really hurt me, because he is kind of good friend to me. I said, ye kya baat? You know, either don't bring your matters to the masjid. When you bring it, then accept it. You know, but I had nothing to do. I neither have to take money or give money, but whatever felt right, it was done. So anyhow, so here also Rasulullah said the same thing. He said, cut it into half, but Sahaba accepted it right away. So this hadith teaches us that we should bring our dispute to the masjid to be decided. And the best thing is to bring to a shaykh so that he could decide accordingly. Okay?
So it should be decided by only one person, or
it could be multiple. Yeah. Yes, it could be a multiple of people, you know. But those people should be knowledgeable about deen. Now when Rasulullah was alive, nobody else can decide but him. But after Rasulullah left this world, yes, you know, there could be multiple people. Narrated by, the next hadith sharif is narrated by Abu Huraira. He said that a black man or a black woman used to sweep the mosque, and he or she died. Rasulullah asked about her or him. Actually, the other rawayah say that it was a female, not a male. He was told that she had died. Rasulullah said, why did you not inform me? So show me his grave. So he went he went to her grave and offered her Salat Janazah. So this woman used to clean the masjid. Okay? And of course there was no vacuum there was no carpet there. So she will come and she will broom it, she will clean it, okay? And she will do it voluntarily. Nobody was paying her to do that. So this hadith shows us the importance of cleaning the masjid.
And the funeral prayers can be.
Yeah, this another thing. That when Rasulullah, now she died at night. So Sahaba thought that we will not wake Rasulullah. Now this was the sunnah among Sahaba that the janazah should be put into the grave as soon as possible. So she died after Salatul Isha, and they buried her the same night. They did not even wait for Fajr Salah. Okay? So they buried her the same night. So when she was buried, at Fajr Salah, Rasulullah Sallallahu was informed that that woman died. So Rasulullah said that, why did you not inform me? Right? And said that, show me the grave. So Rasulullah went to the grave of that woman and prayed Salatul Janazah over that grave. Over the grave. So this shows to us the importance of cleaning the masjid. How much honorable that person was in the eyes of Rasulullah sallallahu. Because Rasulullah did not do this to other Sahaba. But to that woman, Rasulullah sallallahu did this. The third thing is that what sister is asking. Sal Janazah over the grave. Yes, this could be done. This could be done if somebody from the family had not prayed Sal Janazah. Okay? Let's say a mother died and her kids are overseas. They could not participate in the Janazah. When they come, they can either pray, just make dua, or they can just go and pray Sal Janazah over that woman.
But not anywhere else?
Not anywhere else. Now you are talking about Sal Janazah Ghaib. Yeah. This is a very important issue. Can you pray Sal Janazah over a person who is not present, meaning a person, let's say, passed away in India? Right? You are living in Orlando. You could not go there. So can you pray Sal Janazah, which is called Namaz Ghaib? Right? So again, on this issue, Imam Abu Hanifa says no. The rest of the Imam says yes. Why? What is the dispute here? The dispute is that Rasulullah ﷺ prayed Sal Janazah over Najashi. Najashi was in Ethiopia. When he died there, Rasulullah ﷺ was informed by the angels that he had died. Now he was Christian, but later on he became Muslim. So when he died, Rasulullah ﷺ informed, Rasulullah was in Medina, Rasulullah said to Sahaba, line up. We are going to pray Sal Janazah over our brother who had passed away. So first time it happened that Rasulullah led Sal Janazah and there was no Janazah in front of Rasulullah. So it is called Sal Janazah Ghaib. Now the Imams, the Mujtahideen, took this hadith and said that, Sal Janazah Ghaib is fine. You can do it. But then what happened was the rest of the Imam, but Imam Abu Hanifa said no. Imam Abu Hanifa has few points. First point that he has is that Rasulullah did this only to Najashi. There were so many other people who died, and Rasulullah never did this to other people. So second thing is that Rasulullah, being the Nabi, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informed him about the death of Najashi, and there was no phone call, no email, there was no communication. So this was special with Rasulullah, that Allah informed Rasulullah through angels. So this is special with Rasulullah. Third thing is that Imam Abu Hanifa said that maybe Allah showed the janazah of Najashi to Rasulullah. Right? So Imam Abu Hanifa says that this is special with Rasulullah. Not everybody should follow on this. That Abu Hanifa. But the rest of the Imams say that no, you can pray Sal Janazah Ghaib because Rasulullah never prohibited us from doing so. And he did it once. So he did it once and he did not prohibit us from doing it. So what is the issue here? Okay? So my advice to you, brother, is that if you see a Sal Janazah Ghaib taking place, go and join it. If you ask me the Hanafi point of view, I told you. So whenever there is ikhtilaf bain al-ulama, mujtahideen, follow what the Jama Ghafir is doing. If you go to a masjid where Sal Janazah Ghaib is taking place, join it. Don't say, no, I follow Imam Abu Hanifa, I cannot do this. No. Just like, the difference of opinion regarding the starting time of Asr.
Right. Yeah.
पूछने वाले थे.
When my mom was telling me that yesterday, actually we were talking about that when she was in Saudi Arabia for like a month, their starts early and ours starts like, the Hanfi ones starts later.
So the ikhtilaf is between Imam this. When does the time of Asr starts? Right? And that is based on the Hadith Sharif. The interpretation of that Hadith is different. That's the only issue. So Imam Abu Hanifa says that when the shadow becomes twice the length. Meaning what it means is that, let's say, this is the noon time. Let's say 12. These days, what time is the Nisf al-Nahar? No. These days, Nisf al-Nahar is at 1:25. Okay? So now at that time, if you stand under the sun, so let's say, Jumai Sahib, you are standing, right? How tall are you? 6 feet, mashallah. So Jumani Sahib is here. Let's say he's 6 feet. But his shadow is this much. His shadow is this much. Why? Because the sun is right here. So let's say his shadow is this much, okay? So now Imam Shafi'i and other Imam says that when this plus this much more. Okay? When the time comes and the sun moves this way, right? This is the west. And the shadow becomes double the size. Let's say at 125, the shadow was this much. Okay? Let's say at 3. Let's say by 5:15, Jumani Sahib shadow is this much. Right? So now at 5:15 the Asr Salah will start. Okay, Asr Salah will start. Imam Abu Hanifa says that no, it should be mithlain. When the shadow becomes double the length what it was at 125.
So it should be 12 feet.
So
No, it will be 18.
नहीं जो उस वक्त थी what at the time. So let's say now in Jama it is 6 o'clock. Okay. So the thing here is the ikhtilaf, but my opinion to you is, my mashwara to you is, pray salah at your masjid, mohalla masjid. If you live in Indian Wells, right? क्यों भाई तुम्हारी कितने दिन होती है? 5:30. So pray salah there. Don't say no, I follow Imam Hanifa, I'll go to Jama Masjid. No, pray at your local masjid, because just follow the Imam of your masjid. If he is following this, that is also fine. That is also fine. If you are following the other school of that is also fine.
If the Imam is
of a certain school of thought, right? Just follow him. Your salah would be done.
Don't do fatah.
Yeah. Now the issue here is, brothers, that when you are praying alone, then follow your school of thought. Okay? Let's say you go to Haramain Sharifain, Makkah and Medina. There, the Salah, they are Hanbalis. They follow the Hanbali school of thought. They pray Salah at 3:30 or around that time. So don't say no. You know the Hanafi school of thought says something else, so I will not pray. That will be very big shakawa. This is wrong. See? So this is what it is. So when it comes to Salat al-Janaza, right? If you see Salat al-Janaza ghaib taking place someplace, go and join. Okay? Do not make it an issue. Let me give you one more example, please. Very important one. How to pray Salat al-Janaza. Everybody should know it, right? I think, brothers and sisters, you are aware of that. We are talking about it after Fajr here in the class that one sister passed away in Daytona Beach. I think you are aware of, right? I mean, she died with her 2 kids. Okay, so what happened was that she went to pray. She picked her kids up day before yesterday, Friday, from the school, right? And she brought them to the Masjid, Daytona Masjid, to pray Salat Juma. She has 3 kids. So she went to pray Salat Juma, and her husband, Dr. Zulfiqar, he came from the clinic. So they met, the family met in the Masjid. So then Dr. Zulfiqar said to his wife that, okay, I'm going to the clinic and you go home. She said, okay, I'll see you in the evening. So the sister, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive her inshallah, she took her 3 kids. She had a big Mercedes SUV, a van in fact. So she put her kids in that van and she drove towards her home, right? And she was going towards her home. Nobody knows what happened. When she hit 95, right, she met an accident. Her car hit a pole with full force. Now she could not apply brakes. Nobody knows. The police is saying that maybe she was texting while driving. Or maybe she was looking for the phone while driving. Or whatever, Allah knows best. But the cops are of the view that she must be texting. Because when they see these accidents, the cops say, this is what happened. Because she didn't have time to apply brakes. So the car hit the pole with full force. Maybe she was going 70 or 80, whatever. The impact of this crash was such that she and 2 of her kids died on the spot. And the 3rd kid that survived is in a very critical condition in ICO. So this happened only day before yesterday. Now this could happen with anybody, you know. So here the Dr. Zulfiqar and his wife met at the Masjid. He went to his clinic. She was going to the house. They never thought that this meeting would be our last meeting. Okay? But Allah intended that this meeting would be the last meeting. Right? And it was the last meeting. Right? So now that brother, Zulfiqar, lost everything. His wife, kid, and now the only kid that is left, and he is battling death in the hospital. So we should know, we should be prepared for this. It can happen to anybody, right? Now, remember, the best way to pray Salat Janazah is what, Adil? A member of the family should lead. You know that this is, unless you feel that there is a person who has more knowledge, has more taqwa than you feel that no, if he will lead, it will be better. But ideally, you know, somebody from the family should lead. Meaning you should have so much knowledge, so much taqwa, that when your mom died, you should lead the Salat Janazah. The ruh of your mother will feel better, or your dad, whoever it is. Okay? Unless, of course, I said that you feel that you have very little knowledge or no knowledge and all that, and there's a person here, the Imam or the Shaykh, you know, he has more knowledge, so he should lead. But we should know
What's like, okay, let's say you have some knowledge, but there's somebody that has more knowledge.
Yeah.
What does that like, less knowledge mean exactly? Like?
Less knowledge means that this person feels that, you know, I do not know much about Islam.
Okay.
You know, I don't much. This person specializes in knowledge, and plus he acts upon it as well. So what was I saying? Yeah. So the issue here is about Salat Janazah. So you should know Salat. Now in Salat Janazah, after the first takbir Allahu Akbar, when you fold your hand, you can do 2 things here. One is read Sana, Subhanaka Allahumma bihamdika tabaraka asmuka wa ta'ala jadduka, and then add one word, Wajalla Sana'uk, Wala ilaha ghayruk. Right? And then say Allahu Akbar. What you can also say in place of Sana is Surah Al-Fatiha. Read Surah Al-Fatiha. That is also accepted. In the Hadith we say that, Salatul Janada could, in Salatul Janada, read Surah Al-Fatiha. So instead of saying Subhanaka Allahu bihamdi, just read Surah Al-Fatiha. Okay? And then Allahu Akbar, then Durood Ibrahimi, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad, kama sallayta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid, and then Allahumma barik ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad, kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Right? And then say Allahu Akbar again, and now read the dua. Allahumma aghfir li hayyina wa mayyitina wa shahidina wa ghaibina wa kabirina wa dhakarina wa unthana. Allahumma man ahyayta minna fa ahyi ala al-Islam. وَمَنْ تَوَفَّيْتَ مِنَّا فَتَوَفَّهُ عَلَى الْإِيمَانِ. This is a beautiful dua that Allah give us, forgive everybody, all Muslims, dead or alive, young and old, male, female. And Allah give us life upon Islam and let us die on our Iman. And Allah forgive this. رَبَّنَا اغْفِرْ لِي وَلِوَالِدَيَّ. All these du'as that are in the Quran and in the Ahadith regarding forgiveness. And then read special dua for this person upon whom you are praying. Janada. Allahumma aghfirhu wa sakkinhu fil jannah. Allahumma naqqihu min al-khataya kama yunaqqa ath-thawb al-abyadu min ad-danas. So Allah forgive this person. And if it's female, say Allahumma aghfirha. Not who, ha. So read these du'as and prolong it. This part should be prolonged because that is the maqsad of Salat Janada. That the dua should be read. And then Allahu Akbar again, and Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. This is Salat Janada. Simple. Right? But each one of us should know it. You do not know when the need would come. And you would be asked to lead. So it happens. And so a family member should lead. Here there's a sister, an old sister, she has cancer. She expressed her wish that when she died, her grandson, who is Hafiz mashallah, should lead. So the son of this lady called me and said, Hafiz Sahab, this is her wish. I said, well, this is the ideal thing. You see? Because when my mom passed away, my dad was so emotional he could not lead Salat Janada. Although in my city, he was the Qazi, so people will come and will request him to lead Salat Janada. But when my mom died, right, and my dad was so emotional he could not lead. He said, Tariq, go lead. So I was hesitant. Why? By saying, but was so I could not ask why. Well, when he was alive, we could never ask him why. No matter what. These kids should understand. We never asked my dad why, ever in our life. What he said, do it, do it. So when the janazah of my mom was in front of that, there were 1,000 people there, more than 1,000 people there. My dad said, Tariq, come, lead. It was I have led Salat Janazah so many times, but the most emotional was when I led over my mom. So at that time I felt why Fuqaha have written that somebody from the family should lead. It's a very emotional thing. You are reading those du'as from the depth of your heart. Because she's your mom, he's your dad, your relative. Okay? So this is the tartib of Salat Janazah. Everybody should know it. As I said, you do not know when it will be needed. So,
they say that only to do the salam on one side, or we should
छोड़िए उसको, दोनों तरफ करना है. So anyhow, so masjids are, brother, for all this. Yes.
You have to raise your hand all the time?
ये तो fiqh, again, Hanafi no, just once.
Can you read Surah Sana as well as Surah Fatiha?
No, one thing, either Sana or Surah Al-Fatiha. Although I've belonged to the Hanafi fiqh of thought, but I think Surah Fatiha should be read instead of Sana, because in more ahadith we find Surah Al-Fatiha mentioned. So, but the Hanafi fiqh says Sana. So whatever, that's why I say either this way or that way. It's okay.
Brother, when you go to Qabristan, you can just pray. You have to have a cover in front of you. Is that?
Yes. Brothers, I think you are aware of that when the person dies, right, the ruh does not die, right? You are aware of that. Ruh does not die. It's just the body that dies, right? So when you are leading Salatul Janazah, the Ruh knows who is leading. Right? Who is leading? So if when the mom died and the son is leading, right? So the Ruh knows. So that Ruh feels good. Understand? So we have to understand that. So Salat Janazah is something which is. Another thing is, I'm just telling you this off my topic because yesterday these things happened, and I thought that I should mention this because nobody knows, how long I'm going to live or you are going to live. They called me from Daytona because this happened in Daytona. They called from Daytona that they want to bury. Somebody told the family, the husband. Well, there was no family, just the husband. That bury all three in one grave. The mother and the two kids in one grave. But they were confused, right? So they called me that, Habib Sahib, is it right or wrong? I said, no. Why do you want to bury all three of them in one grave? They said, is it acceptable? I said, no. In normal circumstances, no. Unless if there are too many deaths. A calamity came. Hundreds of people died in that community. So it's not possible to dig that many graves. So yes, then you can have a mass grave, right? But here you are talking about three people, one adult, two kids. See? So there's no need to make a mass grave. Make three separate graves and bury them in the individual grave. Why? Why do you want to do that? Isn't it? So,
because of the age of the children?
Yeah, so there's no need for this. I think one kid was, Rafi bhai, how old? 4 years? 4 years or 7 years, whatever it was. So, but they were kids, right? They had not reached the age of puberty. So, yes, the mother will have her grave, right? And then the kids should have their small graves. But
4 and 10. 4 years and 10.
4 years and 10 years. Okay. So this is how it was. So there was no need for mass grave. So I just wanted to tell you if this thing happens, al-Billah, somewhere. So you should know that everybody should be buried in their separate graves.
Age is not a criteria, right? Age is not.
Age is not a criteria. The other day one person brought their 1 day or 2 day old baby died. So small grave, yes.
In that case, those three, one namaz janazah.
Yes. If there are multiple janazas, right? One namaz salat janazah would be sufficient for. So you have to put 3 janazas in front of you, right? And pray one salat janazah for all 3 of them. Or if you want, you can pray 3. If it's up to you. But ideally 1. Yeah.
So the last dua would be for let's say if there were mixed genders, so would you do it separately?
Very good. No. If they're mixed genders, so just muzakkar. Muzakkar means Allahumma maghfirhum wa sakkinhum fil jannah. Allah forgive all of them. You'll bring plural, hum. You see? So I think we should teach this to our kids. Teach them. What a beautiful thing it would be that you taught your kids how to pray Salatul Janazah. And when you will die, brother, sister, we have to die. It's not that, when we will die, my son would be leading Salatul Janazah. I think my soul will feel a lot good to see that. So, anyway. So here Rasulullah went to the grave of that woman and prayed Salatul Janazah over her qabr. So this shows that yes, you can do this. But again, this is something very rare. Rasulullah did only once in his lifetime. So we can avail this hadith sharif. We can use the hadith sharif. If something happens in our family, somebody died and you were unable to go there, right? So whenever you go back home, you can go to the qabr of that relative and pray Salatul Janazah over that relative. Okay. Chale sahab. Hadith number 449. Okay, Aisha says that when the verses of Surah Al-Baqarah about the riba was revealed, Rasulullah went to the masjid and recited them in front of the people and then banned the trade of. I think there's a typo here. एक मिनट रुकिए मैं भी आपको बताता हूँ. हैं? कौन सी हदीस है? हदीस नंबर 450. एक मिनट 450. Who is the narrator? Aisha. अच्छा 450. Okay. So in the free to the jinn. Eh? Okay. Okay. So here it says that when the ayah of riba was revealed, right? So Rasulullah went to the masjid, and not only that he read that ayah, those ayahs that made riba haram, but Rasulullah also read those ayahs that were revealed regarding khamr. So Rasulullah banned both of them. That because the trade of alcohol was done on riba as well, udhar, loan. So Rasulullah said that not only that that this is haram, but the alcohol itself is haram. Now, brothers, do you remember that riba, the ayat of riba were revealed few days before the death of Rasulullah? Okay, so the ayat that you read in Surah Al-Baqarah, الذين يأكلون الربا لا يقومون يمحق الله الربا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وذروا ما بقي من. These ayahs were among the last ayahs to be revealed to Rasulullah. So riba was made haram right at the end of Rasulullah's life. But khamr, liquor, was made haram earlier. So Rasulullah, when he went to masjid, he read these ayahs that made it haram, and then Rasulullah said, you know what? The trade of alcohol is haram as well. So Rasulullah reminded them. So riba is haram and alcohol is haram. So these two things Rasulullah said, no, and these things will remain haram till the day of judgment, brothers. You cannot say, Hafizah, riba is not haram in America. Because, we are living among non-Muslims and all that. So, having said that, I would like to tell you something which might please you. And that is that you can get loan from the bank on interest only for one thing. Guess what?
Pay the interest.
Huh?
Pay the interest back.
You can get only for education. Only for education. Many years ago, I think in 1996, Mufti Taqi Usmani came from Karachi. We had a big, mashallah, event here for 5 days. Every Maghrib he will make bayan. 5 days he made bayan, and he did tafsir of Surah Al-Fatiha. Alhamdulillah. So during the question answering session, one person came and he asked Mufti Sahab that, Mufti Sahab, I want my son to be a lawyer or a physician, something. But I don't have money to do this. And if I don't send my son to a good school, he will not get a good job. Chances are he will not get a good job. And so Mufti Sahab said, okay, what other option do you have? Do you have some money? He said, no, I'm hand to mouth. Do you have a house that you can sell? No, I live in a rented house. So Mufti Sahab said, okay, fine. So what are your options? He said, the only option is that when he goes to college, he will get loan, and then he will pay later. Mufti Sahab said that yes, go ahead and get loan. I was sitting there, remember? I said, loan from the bank? I said, Mufti Sahib have written against it. But brother, this is what we need to learn from these ulamas. Mufti Sahib saw that, this is young alim, and at that time, 1996, I used to be young. So he said, so I looked at him with questions in my eyes. So Mufti Sahib smiled. कहने लगे, तारिक मियाँ, क्या सोच रहे हैं? Master Mufti Sahib, you gave him permission to take loan for education. Then Mufti Sahib said that, Hafiz Sahib, you must have read in fiqh. It's called fiqhul aqliyat. That when you are living among non-Muslims, you are in small numbers. In order to have stronghold, in order to prosper, if you will not adhere to those means that will give you strength, you will live a miserable life. And if Muslims are living miserable life, it is not going to help Islam. So Mufti Sahib quoted a fiqh issue, and he said, when you are living in such conditions, so for education, you can take loan. Only for education. Because that will give you strength. Your child, when he will grow up, he will be a member of the community that would be benefiting. He said, besides education, no, you cannot take loan. See? Because here there is no ayashi here. It is all need. So Mufti Sahib gave permission, and then I went and checked books, and he had a point. Okay? You want to go to medical college, Dr. Sahib, how much it takes? 4 years. Huh? Bataiye?
4.5.
Nearly $500,000. Ab bataiye, who among us can have $500 cash? But if I want to send my son, I don't have $500,000. Ji, aapka hai? No, if you have, you can give me, and I'll pay you back without interest.
Okay, that's the thing. Like you said, to make like a more strong Muslim community, whatever, XYZ. But like if I have a business and I want to make my business stronger, I want to benefit the community, isn't that the same thing basically?
Everything will drive from there and like in the time of Rasul.
No, let me answer that. No, brother, here there is a silver lining. This is why we should always consider a scholar before. Here the silver lining, that is that you have a business, right? You have a business, you are just trying to make it a bigger business, right? So here the scholars will not give you permission to take loan interest, because you are.
It's the same thing.
Huh?
It's the same thing, because I want to get an education, I want to make myself better, and I want to be a neurosurgeon. I want to make $500,000 every 6 months.
Yes, but here, yes, here you are doing something that is. You can survive. You can live a good life.
Yeah.
It's not that you're not living a good life. Here we are talking about a youngster who wants to be something. For example, all of you here, I don't think anybody can afford a good college fees with your pocket. I think here Hashmi Sahib was telling me that he is sending his children to medical school. He has 3 kids, right? I don't think he can. But brother, if you have this question, brother Madan, if you have this question, you should ask a faqih, okay, and put this. What I'm telling you is that what my teacher Mufti Tariq Sahib said to me. Aqliyat, yeah, fiqh al-aqliyat. He said that on this, and I think most of us are doing it. Most of us do it. Dr. Saab's son became a doctor. You took loan, right? What? Well, you are. I'm talking about a Mammon bhai. Brother, Mammons have money, but not all of us are Mammons. You people have money. We do not. But what I'm saying is that my teacher gave this permission. So do not broaden up. Don't say after I can buy a house on this and I can. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that on these issues, on education only, okay, our ulama have given permission to take loan, right, only for education. Now I know what my brother Madan is saying. We can broaden it up, okay, and go and take. But our ulamas have not given permission for that. Only for education they have. If you have more issues, you can consult your muftis on that. What I am quoting is what I heard from Mufti Tariq, and in the masjid he gave permission to a father that you can do this. So this is all that is.
Does it valid only in the youth or valid in any?
He said aqliya, I mean when you are living as a minority.
About India.
Yeah, same thing. Minority, and your right, you will have no value if your children will not become educated. I mean, how can you be a strong? How can the community be strong without education?
I'll give you an example. For example, the building the Performing Arts Center here in Orlando. It's going to cost them I don't know how many $100 million. We want to build a masjid. You know what I'm saying? It's going to cost us probably 1% of what it's going to cost them to build that Performing Arts Center. So they have businessmen in that give them 10 million, 5 million, you know what I'm saying? And these people, I mean, they're businessmen. They make their money that way. So, I mean, it's hard to grow a business sometimes.
I know.
You don't have capital.
I know,
to grow
brother.
that business.
I fully agree with you, brother. I fully agree that it's hard to have business these days without that. But our ulama, I'm saying the faqih,
Yes.
the fuqaha, have given permission only for education. So I'm just quoting you. I'm not saying, I fully agree it's tough. As a father I'm telling you that tough, but the ulama have given only for education. Yes, Dan, what do you think?
So the question is, we're getting education so you can help the Muslim Ummah, right?
Yeah.
So not every Muslim has to be a doctor. I mean, it's cheaper to be a journalist and you can go to school without a loan.
Yeah.
And that's what we need. We don't need doctors. We need journalists. We need these people that, and you don't need to get a loan.
Yeah, no. I'm saying that brother wanted to send his son to a medical school. But yes, I mean, there are 4 or 5 fields in which our children should go. Journalism is definitely one. Law is another one. Medical is, and there's 4th one, and media. Let me ask Zain and then I'll continue. So these are 4. But let's say, Zain, if you want to be a good journalist, right? And you want to go to a good college to be a journalist, right? And let's say your dad, maybe your dad can afford, but let's say another person, he cannot afford. Okay? So he will end up taking loan. Because let's say you are going to UCF, right? And the father has 2-3 kids, right? He cannot afford. So if your intention is, again, innamal a'malu bin niyat. Everything goes back to, if your intention is that I want to make my child a good journalist who can serve this ummah, the Muslim community. And for that I need to send my son to a good, or daughter, whatever the case is, to a good school, and I don't have money. So based on that, you can take loan to pay for the college fees. If you can, like Jumai Sahib said that he paid from his pocket when his son was going to medical school, then subhanallah. But how many, same thing with law. I think law schools are as expensive as medical school. Same thing with media. It takes money. In US, I mean, education is not cheap. If you want to have, your children to go give back to the community, your children should graduate from good colleges and then serve. I think you saw my newsletter, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I wrote about Shahid. Yes.
Almost every private college in the US, the campus living is almost $50,000 a year. So it could be journalism, could be medicine, anything.
And it's getting expensive. When I did my master's from UCF, one class used to be, I don't know how much.
$1,100.
When I was doing, it was I think $400 or $500 one class, right? And now, if you do master, I think it's 1,100 something, so like 3 times more. Now if I have to do, I cannot do, because by that time, it was kind of cheaper. So what I'm saying is, again, I'm not warning you, but I'm requesting you. This issue of riba is very sensitive. Okay? Please do not apply what I said to all the other fields. Please consult your faqih, your mufti that you are in touch with. Okay? I'm just quoting you what I heard from a very reputed mufti, Taqi Usmani. Yeah, he's very well known among Arabs and non-Arabs. What he said to me, I'm just quoting you that. I believe that riba is haram. I will never buy my house on riba. I will never deal in riba, right? But when my son and daughters will go to college, I have to think. I don't think I can afford their fees from my pocket. Then at that time, I might have to take interest. They have to take under their name. So at that time, I might have to go back to Mufti Taqi Usmani and ask him again. But what I'm saying is that this is what Mufti Taqi Usmani Sahab said. And I value him because he's a very conservative scholar. He would never say yes to any question easily. But when he said yes, so that was a very big thing to me. So I'm just quoting you that this is what, and if you have, please refer to him. I'm just quoting you what I heard from him. Because remember, again, let me repeat that riba in general is a big sin in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? So we should not broaden this issue beyond education. That's what I'm saying. If you have issue, please consult your scholar.
Everything is linked. Like for example, we need a car to go to college.
Or masjid. If you live in a smaller community, you don't have a car to go to masjid. I mean, I'm just saying, with that what Maulana Sahib is saying, don't broaden
right,
it.
Don't broaden it, please. I mean, then we'll become like Bani Israel, I mean, we can keep on linking it. That is why it was my responsibility to tell you, but I'm requesting you to keep it only that much. If you have issues, please consult Mufti Taqi Usmani or any other Mufti on this. Okay? But if you broaden it and go about telling Hafiz Sahab said that interest is jaiz, that will be wrong. I'm not saying it's jaiz.
That will be not jaiz.
Yeah, so it is not so. It is not so. Some of the people will bring mithai by evening to me. So
interesting, but
yeah, so please do not do this.
with interest.
Yeah. What, brother, humbly request, what I'm saying is, again in Usul al-Fiqh, inshallah, whenever I'll start, we'll read it. In some circumstances, there's a, चलिए एक उसूल बता देते हैं आपको. आप लिख लें इसको, if you, ad-darurat tubihul mahdurat. This is usul al-fiqh right here. This is called the golden rule of fiqh. Ad-darurat tubihul mahdurat. This is called the golden rule of Islamic fiqh, which means that necessities, darurat, tubihul, make it, mahdurat means haram things. Sometimes darurat make haram things halal. That's the general rule. Example, a person is hungry, right? Very hungry. This person did not eat one day, second day, third day. And this person is literally dying. The only thing that is in front of him is pig, swine, khinzir. He can eat that khinzir. Okay? Because if he will not eat, he will die. So when there is food in front of him, even if it's haram, he can eat it to save his life. Same thing with liquor, alcohol. There's no liquid there, there's no water there except for alcohol, and if he will not drink, he will die. Let's say, just hypothetically. So this rule would be applied. Right? Now, again, do not generalize it. Do not generalize it. Whenever a haram thing comes, which generally is haram, whether it's interest or something, so you do not use your own brain. Oh, you know, just aapne kaha na ki car bhi le lo, ghar bhi le lo. No. When I'm telling you the rule, you must consult a faqih on that. Yeah, I'm just telling you the rule. You must consult if you are God fearing and you don't want to indulge into haram, you must consult a faqih and follow his fatwa. Then on the day of judgment, Allah will not hold you accountable. You'll say, I consider a mufti, a reputed person, well respected, and he said that, for my kids I can take money from the bank as a loan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I did it. Whether he was right or wrong, right, it would be upon the mufti. Aapki gardan chhut jayegi. So this is what it is. So, but the rule is this. So in fiqh it is called the golden rule of fiqh. But again, do not generalize. Awam should not generalize. The masses, the people out there should not generalize it. An issue comes, go to a faqih and consult. That is Allah first alu ahla dhikr. Go and ask a knowledgeable person that this is the issue. What is the ruling?
The next word, the second word is
Tubihul mahdurat. Yeah, tubihul mahdurat.
So I want to add this,
yes.
if you don't mind. We were sitting with the Abdul Rahman today in Ohio, and some people asked one beautiful question, and you mentioned that answer regarding the moon.
He
gave the answer, beautiful answer. He said, follow your own local imam. Even though some people said in the state we have so many imams, follow your own.
He said a very good thing. Well, that's what it is.
Don't elaborate this one.
And do not give shahadat of seeing moon.
No.
That's why on the 29th of every month I don't go home. I go after late. That's why I have to give shahadat. See. But moon thing, please. This is what Sheikh Sudar said. If we follow this, subhanallah, there will be no paddas. Just follow your masjid.
Your masjid.
That's what all the ulama are saying, brothers.
So, even on the streets, follow your own local imam.
Our masjid, alhamdulillah, is following global sighting. Wherever the moon is sighted, subhanallah.
Even by Pathans.
Kahin bhi ho. Anybody who sees the moon, but he has to see the moon. Not calculation, brothers, please. He has to see that. Let's say in this year, the chances are, I was looking at the moonsighting.com because there's the website. Chances are that in Australia, in Ramadan, right, they will see the moon before us.
I can bet you Pathans will see it before us.
And in North America, in the Americans, in Chile, they will see. So I'm already preparing myself by making connection among the ulama of Australia. So whenever they will see it, because see, in Australia, if they will see it many hours before the sunset here. So if they saw it and they say, yes, Hafizah, we have seen it, subhanallah, you'll get an email before sunset that Tarawih would be tonight or tomorrow, whatever the thing is, right? So the global sighting, okay? So whatever your local masjid is doing, just please do it. If we follow this, there will be less problems. I think I took too much time. Okay, brother, I have to stop here. So I stop at hadith number 450. So today I have only 10 minutes left, brothers and sisters. I have to finish the bio of Usman radiallahu anhu today, so I can start Ali karamallahu bayan tomorrow, next week. So inshallah, let me finish it in 10 minutes. Usman radiallahu anhu's khilafat lasted for 12 years, brothers. I will not go into the detail of the last 6 years of his khilafah. So if you are expecting that I will go into the detail of last, I will not, because it's very complicated. Plus, there were some not nice things that happened by the Iraqis. You know, the Kufis and the Baghdadis and the Basris. We have enough trouble. I mean, if you want.
Clear the issue. Why is that issue?
But again, Latif bhai, my perspective on this is a little bit different, maybe yours. I see that, you know, whatever happened there, right, what you and I can do now, after 1400 years. I mean, it was unfortunate what happened, you know, but knowing that in detail, for common people, I think it will lead to many ill feelings towards some people.
Isn't it because of that what we are suffering today is what we are suffering?
In what sense? In what way?
The division between the Sunnis and Shias.
So that was that was done by Jews, Yahudis, and we became victims of it. Okay, let me summarize it in 5-6 minutes, maybe you. Brother, here the issue was. क्या हो गई? आप रहने दे उसको, मैं कहता PowerPoint जरूरत भी नहीं. रहने दे. So here the issue was that these Basris and Kufis, the Baghdadis, they were never satisfied with whoever is Khalifa in Medina. Okay? When Umar was there, Umar knew them very well. So he kept them under control. When Usman radiallahu anhu became Khalifa, since I said that the amount of land that he had to cover was big, huge. You know, he's sitting here in Medina and all the way to Spain. Right? Right? He has to go all, and then we just eat it. So he has to control all these countries sitting from Medina Munawwara. Now Iraq was right here, I would say. Okay. Iraqis accepted Islam because in Iraq, during the time of Umar, Islam came to Iraq. You know, the Qadisiyah battle and all. Now, the Iraqis, during the time of Usman radiallahu anhu, they started bringing some issues up. Right? Usman radiallahu anhu kept on avoiding it. He was thinking that these issues are temporary and they will die out. He was wrong. Issues regarding Khalifa, that he is too old to be a Khalifa. Right? Issue that he should be replaced by Ahlul Bayt, somebody from Ahlul Bayt. Issues regarding the distribution of zakat money. All these issues, unnecessary issues, but fitna. And a time came when these fitnas were kind of out of control. Okay? And then when they will come for Hajj, they will cause lots of problems. Now, the person who was igniting this fire was a Yahudi. Right? Abdullah ibn Salam. He was a rabbi. Salam. Sabah. Abdullah Sabah. Ibn Sabah. This is why it's called Sabai Firqa. Ibn Sabah. He was igniting it from behind the doors. And he knew that the Basri and the Iraqi and the Baghdadi, they love to fight. They love to make issues and then prolong the issues and make it into a big war or fitnas. Many senior Sahaba, which included Ali karamallahu, advised Usman radiallahu anhu at different times to stop other activities and take care of the Iraqi. It was called the Iraqi problem. Okay? Take care of the Iraqi problem. But Usman radiallahu, first of all, he was around 77 years old when these fitna started. He died when he was 83. So he said, no, you know what? These guys are new to Islam. They will understand Islam and things will die out. But instead of this fitna stopping, it was spreading. The irony was that many good Muslims became victim of this fitna. They also started thinking that maybe the Iraqis are right. That was the bad part. To cut the story short, brothers, a time came when the Iraqis came in like an army to Makkah. Where Usman radiallahu anhu had moved to Makkah. They came and they surrounded the whole city, right? And they put the city in a siege. Now, my brother, dear brothers and sisters, you have to understand, Usman was a brave man. He had an army of Muslims, standing army of Muslims, that consisted of over 1 million people. In Medina, all from here till here, they were armed, Muslim armed. I mean, there were a few thousand of them here in Medina, in Makkah. But then, if he would have wished, he could have got warriors from all these countries, from Egypt and he could have taken care of this army that came from Iraq. So what happened was that many Sahaba came and they told Usman radiallahu anhu that, you know what, Haram of Makkah had been surrounded by the Iraqis. We are waiting for you to order us to fight. We are in much bigger number than the Iraqis. You order us as Khalifa, we'll take care of these people. We'll just kill all of them. Now brother, Osman was not going to fight radiallahu anhu. He was the Khalifa. If he was a coward person, al-ayadhu billah, like Shia people say, al-ayadhu billah, he could have ordered the soldiers to go and fight. This soldier would have killed, butchered these Iraqis, because there were few in numbers, maybe 1,000, 1,500. But Usman radiallahu anhu replied, he said, I would never allow a single drop of blood to be shed for my sake. You see? He said, I would rather die than to allow Muslim army to fight to save my life. And he said, I am ready to face if these Iraqis have come to kill me, let them kill me, but I will not let a single Muslim to die defending me.
Are they Muslims?
Yeah, Muslim. So, isn't it bravery, brother? And the Shia people say that he was a coward person. So what happened was that when Sahaba came and insisted, senior Sahaba came, Ali came, Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas came, all of these Ashara Mubashara Sahaba, whoever was remaining, came and they requested Usman to give one order and we'll take care of them. He said no. He repeated the same thing, I would rather die. So, yes.
Doesn't he have to think of what's best for the Ummah?
Well, that's what he thought, that you know what, I'm ready to, he said that, you know, that's what his ijtihad was. Whether it was right or wrong, we do not know, but that was his ijtihad. So then that day came when he got shahadat. And when some Sahaba said that, you know, now they are very near. So Osman went to his house, went on the floor, on the roof of his house, he opened the Quran and started reading. You remember Osman was famous for tilawat of Quran. He would read for hours. He opened the Quran and started reading. And you know, Osman was a person with great haya. Too much haya. Right? So Rasulullah also said that even angels feel shy from Osman. So he knew that today is my shahadat day. He opened the Quran without any sayf or sword, nothing, no bows and arrows. He went on the roof of his house and opened the Quran, and before going there, he was wearing a pajama and he tied it very hard. And then he said to one Sahabi or Tabi that when I don't want my aura to be exposed, even after my death. And he was reading, so he started Surah Baqarah. And it says that when he reads this ayah, فَسَيَكْفِيكَهُمُ اللَّهُ وَهُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ, that Allah is sufficient for you, don't worry. An Iraqi jumped into his house, went to the roof, and he attacked Usman while Usman was reading the Quran from behind. He attacked him, and Usman radiallahu anhu got shahadat. After his death, there was complete anarchy in Makkah. His body was there for the whole day. Right? There was nobody to bury his body because there was a curfew. So, and this is the third Khalifa. So, after 24 hours or so, some Sahaba kind of requested those Basaris to let few Sahaba go and bury the body at least. So they allowed 6 or 7 Sahaba to take care of the body. So they took the body, right? And these Basris were so evil that when the 7 Sahaba took the body and wrapped it, because he was Shaheed, so no washing of the body, they did the kafan of it, and they placed al-Janada, these 6-7 Sahaba. Now they took the body to Jannatul Baqi, the famous graveyard across from Masjid Nabawi. They said, no. You cannot bury him here. I said, why? They said, no. Bury him elsewhere. Now next to Jannatul Baqi, I think if you have gone to Jannatul Baqi, let's say, brother, I'll tell you, let's say this is the Masjid Nabawi across from, this is Jannatul Baqi. This is the Masjid. This is the Jannatul Baqi, right? Okay. And right here was another small Qabristan cemetery. This was a Jewish cemetery. So there was a wall separating them. These people said, okay, go and bury him in the Jewish cemetery. Sahaba had no option. Because there was curfew, these Iraqis were going crazy. They said, well, let us bury him next to the Sahabi and Sahabiyat. No, bury him there. So they buried him in the Jewish cemetery. Later on, what happened was that after this turmoil was over, right, what the Umayyas did was that they took this wall away.
Not Umar.
Umayyas. They took when they were ruling, they took this wall away, and now if you go, that's it. This is the Jannatul Baqi. Now it's a huge. If you enter from here, okay, the qabr of Usman is right at the end, right here, and then there is a wall. Have you been there?
Right.
Yeah, it's right here, right. So Usman radiallahu was buried here in the Jewish cemetery, but now that wall is no more there, and this is the qabr of Usman is right at the very end. Okay, so this was how he got shahada fi sabilillah. Last thing that I would like to tell you was how he died. Now, brother, these Sahaba were so close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, radiyallahu anhu wa radu anhu. Right? Allah said, I am happy with them. So the day Usman got shahadat, he was fasting. He got up and did suhoor. And he said, I am fasting today. And then before Fajr, he took a nap. When he was taking a nap, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed him a dream. And in that dream, Allah showed him Rasulullah sallallahu Abu Bakr and Umar. And Rasulullah said to Usman in a very friendly way, he said, Usman, when are you coming to me? You are fasting and I am also fasting today. I want to have iftar with you. And then Abu Bakr and Umar also said, Usman, come. We'll be together at iftar with Rasulullah. Usman woke up for Fajr. He said, he was Sahabi. He understood. He has ilm and hikmat. He said, oh, you know what? Rasulullah is fasting. I am fasting. Rasulullah wants to have iftar together. So this means today definitely I'm going to die. Inshallah. So he narrated this hadith, this dream to one or two Sahaba. He said, you know what? Rasulullah is calling me. See? So I think then he tied his pajama and he said, you know what? Everybody go away from here. No need to defend me. No need. If Allah wants me to die and be with Rasulullah sallallahu, that's what my purpose of life is. So then he said, nobody should even come close to defending me. Then he went on the rooftop and then that person came and he attacked him. You see? So again, coming back to your issue, brother, when we talk about Sahaba, you might not agree with their decision. But that decision was based on ikhlas, sincerity. This is why the maslak of Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama. This is something very important. We do not criticize Sahaba. Not that they are masoom. No, they are not masoom. But their decisions in life are based on ikhlas and ilm. And look here, Rasulullah sallallahu was calling him. You see? So this shows how close he was with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this, after his shahadat, the third Khalifa's khilafat came to an end. Then they chose Ali karamallahu wajhu to be the fourth and the last Khalifa, right? And inshallah, next week, Allah willing and life willing, inshallah will. One or two things, brother, 30 seconds I'll take. There's one sister here who has cancer. She's a young sister and she has two small kids. So we should I'll just make a small dua because I promised that I'll make dua. So let's make dua for that sister. She has to, and then please make dua for daughter Zulfiqar. May Allah give him sabr jameel. And also his wife, that may Allah forgive her. And of course these children were ma'soom. So let's make dua for this sister locally who has cancer and she has two small kids, and for this as well. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala sayyidina Muhammad wa barik wa sallim. Allahumma anta salam wa minka salam tabarakta rabbana wa ta'alayta ya dhal jalali wal ikram. Allahumma aghfirhum wa sakkinhum fil jannah. Allahumma naqqihum al khataya kama yanqqa ath-thawb al abyad min ad-danas. Ya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, give shifa to this sister. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cure her completely of cancer and give her good life. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make her a healthy woman. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this sister who passed away in Daytona, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive her and give her the status of shaheed. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala place her in a'la illiyin. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also forgive these two masoom children who died with her. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the third child who is suffering in the hospital, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give him siha and afiyah and a long life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give sabr jameel to Dr. Zulfiqar, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and reward him for this sabr. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make give him peace in his heart. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us prepare for our own death. And whenever we die, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us death upon iman. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala al-mursaleen walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
رب زدني علما ألف